Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say, it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Tuesday edition of the program, Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. We'll be joined by Buddy Martin here momentarily. Got a ton of text, and I'm sure we'll have Facebook Live today. Baseball plays tonight over in Jacksonville. I think it's in Jacksonville against Florida State. I'm not sure who's pitching tonight. Nat says, good morning, Shane and Buddy. We're waiting on Buddy. Buddy must have overslept. He must have watched the Oscars again. So anyway, if you missed it last night, the women's Final Four is set. I was just flipping through the channels, and man, not South Carolina, NC State hit a 3 to force overtime, and Connecticut is the only 2 seed. All the other 1 seeds have made it to the women's Final Four. I don't know how many people or who's leading our bracket, but don't forget, we'll know on Monday who wins the Coach Spurrier kind of a gift basket from Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We'll get your size, get you some gear sent to you, whoever is the big winner for our contest. If you missed it yesterday, Gator Pro Day, I was there in person watching it. I don't know if you watched it on TV or not. Andy says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellow Law, thanks for making Gator Pro Day watchable. Great interviews and insight. Did you see anybody from the NFL that you know? I've been to a few pro days, Andy. I didn't know one single scout there. There were no head coaches. But I take that back. There was one, Nick Shirelli, who's a former Gator player. He was on the national championship team in '96 as a walk-on wide receiver, and then got straight into scouting. Been with the Broncos for a long time. He kind of runs the whole deal here when the pro day happens in Gainesville. So he's the only NFL guy that I recognized or knew, which was interesting. Maybe I've been out of it for so dang long now. There's so much turnover. It seems like the NFL is getting younger and younger. But it was I don't know how many people watched the SEC telecast, but had a good time with Doring and Cardozo. And went by faster than we thought, maybe because we didn't have a whole lot of Gators working out. Apparently, Kaiir Elam did extremely well. I think he will be a first-round draft pick the more it goes along. I think he has a chance for sure. I think the second guy that's going to get drafted as a Gator, I think it's going to be Damian Pierce. I think he's going to surprise some people and get drafted. And then I think Zach Carter will be the third guy. So we'll see. And then most of the other guys will have to probably be free agents, I would guess. And you can still make rosters doing that. So we'll see. We're still waiting on Buddy. I don't know if Evans tracked him down yet or not, but maybe Buddy is oversleeping. And hopefully we'll get Buddy on here momentarily. Lauren says, hopefully that changes in years to come. Yeah, back in the day where there used to be head coaches here, tons of players working out, and a lot of high draft picks. I think Coach Napier and his staff will get that going for sure. John asked, were you impressed with Coach Napier? What did he say? Yeah, I've talked to Coach Napier 4 or 5 times now, watched him in action at practice, extremely impressed with him. He knows how to answer every question. He even said yesterday, they're trying to teach these kids how to play football their way. He says it ain't great right now, but that's why you have spring practice. You'll have the entire summer. It's a work in progress. So it's not going to happen overnight, people. I can promise you that. He will tell you that. And so we'll see. But, yeah, Coach Napier's a sharp guy. We also had Coach Todd Golden on talking about the basketball program. And I like him, man. I'm telling you right now, you're going to see some international guys here. You may see some guys from San Francisco that are familiar with his system transfer. There were reports yesterday that Tyree Appleby is transferring. I didn't even know he had another year left. I'm not sure who is staying. Maybe I know they want Reeves to stay because of his shooting ability. So we'll see. But he hired a new coach. I don't know how many coaches he has left to hire, but a coach that has been very, very highly successful in the recruiting ranks around the country. So people need to jump on board. I think Todd Gold's going to do a pretty good job. Dan says, Buddy never sleeps. He doesn't, but he must have overslept today. We're going to try to track him down. Okay, so Buddy's having technical issues as normal. That's normal. Charlie says, the baseball team play FSU last night? No, Charlie, they play them tonight. Dan says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Long. Interesting comments by Strickland about the stadium. Yeah, if people missed that, we had Scott Strickland on as well. And I think Cardozo asking, what's the next venue or what are they going to build? He said they're looking into doing something to the swamp, but he doesn't want to change the perception of the swamp because, you know, he not even having ever been to the swamp until he became the athletic director, he'd heard so many great things about it. And it's one of the greatest venues in college football. So you don't want to change a whole lot. I think if they change anything, they space the seating out in the lower bowl, I would guess. Maybe not so much over on the student section, but that's the only thing they can do, really. You don't want to change any of the structures. You could add some scoreboards here and there or what have you. So anyway, I think we have Buddy now. Good morning, Buddy. How are you?
Good morning. I got my computer to work finally. You know, those tech problems, I jump on you sometime, but I'm doing good. How you doing?
Plugging away, buddy.
Like always.
What for the people that missed your program last night, because most of our people watch both programs.
Yeah.
But I want to get your thoughts because we all know that you love some movies, watching with your wife and stuff like that. We want to get your thoughts. And I guess it was a real deal because you said last night on your show that Will Smith came out and apologized. So I guess it was not an act.
Well, you know, when you've been married a long time, and I have, you know, a long, long time, you have to have had some sharing experiences and certain arrangements. Like I watch football, I watch sports all the time, and one night a year she watches something I watch with her. Now we watch other things, but her thing has always been the movies, and it's always been the Oscars. I get a little bored with it, but you know, every now and then I get entertained. So people say, "You watch that crap?" Yeah, I watch it because my wife wants me to, and I do. So I'm sitting there, you know, going through the motions like I always do on Oscar night. And you know, I see Will Smith get up out of his chair and head up to the stage, and Chris Rock, unanticipating this, you could tell, is startled when Will Smith, this big star, who's there, by the way, because he was up for nomination for this movie on King Richard, which is the story of Venus and Serena's dad. And they're thinking, what is he doing? Is he all emotions, going to go give him a big hug or what? Now, prior to that, and it's really Chris Rock went up on the stage about 3 minutes. He made a reference to his wife, to Chris Rock's wife, who, by the way, is bald. And a lot of people don't know she has a disease which cost her hair. You know, and so Chris Rock makes a joke about her looking like G.I. Jane. And a movie they called G.I. Jane says, well, I can't wait till your movie comes out, G.I. Jane 2. And in the moment, wasn't paying too much attention to it. I know there's been some controversy about the couple and how their marriage is kind of open, you know, whatever. So I'm thinking, what is he doing? He walks up to the stage and he takes his hand and it looks like he punches him. Looks like he punches him and it looks like, or slaps, looking like a punch. And I'm thinking, what just happened here? And the first thing you think about is, this isn't real. But the thing about it is the show went on. They stopped the show and they bleeped the whole large segment and included uh, uh, the slap and included him mouthing something, saying something. It turned out what he said was, "Keep my wife's name out of your bleeping mouth." Mm-hmm. So I watched all this. I'm thinking, this can't. Is this real or what? And so when it came back finally after off the air, I'm thinking, what just happened? I've never seen something like that on TV. And so I start texting and I start tweeting, and a little bit Terry Bradshaw pops on. He's like, "What? This is amazing." So I'm thinking, what did I just see? And we don't know. And so turns out he did hit him, as you know. And then to top it off, the drama, if that's what you like, if people who watch the Oscars like drama, right? Then the film he was nominated for, King Richard, he wins the Oscar. Will Smith wins the Oscar, and now he's got to come back up on the stage. And he comes up there and he's weeping profusely. And I'm thinking, my word, this is like one of those famous moments in the Oscars. There have been a few, like when Sally Field said, "They like me, they really like me." Over the years, but it's famous. And so I'm thinking, oh, well, this is real. And now people are starting to pop on Twitter and saying, "Nah, this is not real. This is a fake. This is a fake thing." Oh, yeah, it was real. Oh, it showed. Then they had the replay. They showed the replay, and somebody had it with sound and what was said during that time. So it was a really high drama moment, And I was absolutely shocked. One of those shocking things I've seen on TV. And of course, as you know, it turned out to be true. And it was a big controversy. And it's been all over social media and what have you. Now, I still thought, no, Will Smith is going to do the right thing. He's going to, while he's up there with the mic, he's going to say, "I lost it. I apologize. I should have done that," etc. Because he's obviously under some emotional strain. He didn't. He apologized to the Academy. He went to explain his situation, how he felt like he had to defend his wife, and we didn't know at the time she had this disease where she lost her hair, etc. So there were two crowds. There was a crowd of, well, good for him for defending his wife, and because it was a very sensitive issue. You don't joke about family. Bradshaw said he talked to Bradley Cooper during the process, and Bradley Cooper, I guess I shouldn't talk out of school, and had said that the stars get tired of get poked fun at when they're up there or whatever, And then there's the other side of it. The guy's doing his bit on the stage. When you're up there and you're with your wife and you're, and you've been in the controversy and you've been doing the interviews about your open marriage and whatever, and you got a movie coming out and you're there, you're fair game. Your wife's fair game when she's front and center. Anyway, that's the long way of describing what happened. It was one of those shocking things I've ever seen on TV, and obviously it shocked the world too.
No question about it. Switching gears to Gator Sports, buddy. Well, real quick, we just got a text on the Titan Network text, and I got a bunch of texts, but I'm gonna get to this one. Okay. And it's from an anonymous texter. He wants to know, was it fake? Do you think charges will be filed? Your thoughts on that, buddy?
No, absolutely not. He said not going to file charges, and it wasn't fake. It was real. I have no question in my mind to watching the video 1,000 times and people hearing and talking. Absolutely not fake. It was real. It happened, and you can believe whatever you want to. It happened, and there will be no charges filed, according to what Chris Rock said.
On Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law, Dan has a question or a comment here, and I guess he listened to your show last night. And we were talking before you came on, buddy, about we had Ty Golden on the SEC Network in Pro Day yesterday. Great interview. He's in the process now. Obviously, we're going to bring in kids from the portal. We're going to have kids leaving. But Dan says, Fran said on your show that Colin Castleton is planning on coming back. Have you heard that?
I was a little surprised when he said that. And he said
I'm not.
Really?
Where's he going to go? Overseas? He has zero chance of playing in the NBA.
Could play college. Go to Georgia.
Oh, well, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Not that he would, but I mean, I think that's good news for Todd because he gives some continuity, And you can always use a big man. He's going to give you his 8 and 10 or whatever he gives you, and he plays hard. And the labrum, according to Franz, he's had the surgery. He says extremely painful, more so than a knee and all the other stuff you get. And so he's had the surgery now, or going to have a surgery and coming back. And I think that's a good thing for Todd Golden, don't you?
No, I do. I think he's got really good skills offensively. I don't think they translate to the NBA. Now he could go overseas and make some money, or as you said, I didn't even think about him transferring to Georgia with Mike White, but we'll see. But that would be a big plus if he did come back. I think this staff that Todd Golden is going to bring in are going to be relentless recruiters. They're going to have good connections, which you can turn a basketball team around immediately, buddy. Immediately. Yeah. And speaking of basketball, I was going to ask you this. You may not be aware of it, or maybe our listeners aren't either. Do you realize, do you think Arkansas is starting to take over as the premier program in the SEC? The reason I say that, they made it farther than anyone, but Musselman, he has 3 of the top 20 players in America that are committed to the Razorbacks. Yeah. Now, it could be some Walmart money being thrown around for all we know.
Yeah. It's legal now.
Right. But I thought that was interesting that he has 3 of the top 20, not the top 200, 3 of the top 20 in America that are coming to play for the Hogs.
Right. As you know, I don't keep up with recruiting, but I didn't know that. And I'm impressed with Musselman's coaching job. I'm not ready to put him up there above Cal and Kentucky at this point in time. And I think Florida had 2 5-stars coming in under Mike White, and Pastrana brought him in. Now Pastrana's gone to Georgia, so I don't know there. I really have no knowledge about that except what I read, like you and like was said last night. There's no doubt that Arkansas. I mean, what a year Arkansas's had in all the sports. His football. Sam Pittman is a great hire. They're competitive. Their baseball team is great. Eric Musselman's kind of playing the only last standing SEC team, and they've been down a long time. So while I admire what Musselman's done in Arkansas, I'm not ready to promote them to becoming a blue blood, although they've been to the Final Four a bunch of times. How many times?
I don't know the answer to that.
6,
I know
6, right? Somebody tell us. Somebody will tell us. I think this might be 6. So you forget they have been in that blue blood category.
Yeah. So, and people, you can look at Musselman. He's built his programs everywhere he's been on transfers. I think 4 of their starting 5 were transfers either this year or last year. So you can turn them around. We had a Facebook Live here from Andy. He says, if Iowa State can turn around from 2-22 to a Sweet 16, the Gators can do it too. I agree with that. John says, don't forget that Arizona got a 1 seed in year 1 under their new coach. Correct. So anyway, Clay says Arkansas is a great coach, but with the portal, I'm not sure we won't see huge swings in the conference. About 10 teams will have a chance every year. One of the positives of the portal. Yeah. I have zero problem with the portal. Basketball is crazy because, like I told you, there were kids playing this past weekend that have played at 4 different schools, but that's just the way of the world now. All right, buddy. Real quick, before we get to football, Gator baseball struggling right now. Softball struggling a little bit. In your mind, are you more concerned with softball or baseball?
I'm more concerned with baseball. And because I really thought, and both programs have been fantastic, and Gator fans have been so much spoiled in that regard. But clearly, Sully's got problems with pitching. I mean, Barco is the only sure thing he's got down there. The bullpen hasn't come through. I watched all 3 of those games over the weekend. They finally fixed their defense up, and they were hitting it. They hit good Friday night. Suddenly, their bats went cold, and their bullpen went to crap. And this team needs not do this right now. I'm not sure. It feels like Tennessee beating Florida like they did was a bit of a blip. And maybe I think they'll right their ship. Tim Walton, I think he'll be okay with baseball. I mean, that new stadium last year, all the hoopla, all the things going on and whatever. And I thought, okay, They're back. They're going to Omaha. I'm not sure about that right now. They probably will get there, but what I'm seeing, I love my three Ocala guys there. Obviously, we have the Ocala Power Company, the Fabians are hitting great, and and Sterling Thompson, but they just don't have the pitching right now, and I don't know where they're going to get it. Now Sully believes in putting young guys out there, as we talked about last night. He says just because they're not 21 doesn't mean that they can't go out there and pitch really good baseball. And they got a few there, but they got to get more consistent out of the bullpen. They got to find that third starter. So right now, Barco's it, and then on top of that, their bats went cold in games 3 and 4, and they're getting pounded, not just losing. They got pounded 2 games. I wouldn't overreact to it, but it's you asked the question. I'm more concerned about baseball than softball.
Ruse Ogre State Farm office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. They offer auto, home, life, health insurance. Go visit them at ogreinsurance.com or give them a call at 352-240-1779. A few more minutes here with Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show. Don't forget tomorrow's program on the weekly Word with Wit. Trent will have Evan McPherson, kicker for the Cincinnati Bengals. If you have any questions for Evan or comments, shoot them to us on the Titan MR text line, because you got to remember, Trent tapes that show, and if you want, he's not going to be able to answer any questions live, just so y'all know. Buddy, we got speaking of a text on the Titan MR text line, we got one for you from Stacy. She says, Buddy, love listening to your program. My question for you is, you've been covering sports for a very long time. What is your favorite sport to cover?
Without a doubt, football. I've always loved football. I've followed since I was a little tyke, and I followed the Gator since I was old enough to put on my green sweater, pretend it was orange and blue, stuff washcloths under the shoulder like shoulder pads, and listen to Otis Boggs and run around the living room and act like I was stiff arming the chairs. And I've just always loved football, just like you did grow up loving Ole Miss football. And I've been blessed to be able to cover it, Shane, for a lot of years at every level, and spent a lot of years in high school, covering high school sports in this area right here. And then went from there to colleges and began to cover Florida football really when I was in college. And since the days of Bob Woodruff all the way through, and then I covered it, in New York, Colorado, and what have you. So really love football. I was for a time when the NFL was my sport. I covered it for about 10 to 12 years regularly, especially the Broncos, a little bit of the New York Giants, and I've seen it at every level. But no, football is my sport. I played baseball. I played a little high school football, but my sport was baseball playing. But my favorite to cover was football, and I do think college football has been the greatest game we got. I'm a little worried about it right now, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm worried as well. But Andy Staples told me the other day that I should not worry about it. It ain't my money, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's a point. That's a point.
Yeah, it's a good point, but I just think don't even get me started on that. All right, buddy, let's switch gears before we let you go. Spring football. I want to say they're having a scrimmage. I don't know if they're scrimmaging this weekend.
Thursday.
Tomorrow? No.
I think I saw the notification. It's not open to the media or public. They got something. I don't know if it's a full scrimmage, but there's some kind of scrimmage on Thursday, according to what they said on the notification they sent the media out there. So, but I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a good question. I want to find out.
Yeah. What are you hearing from your people? I've been to 2 practices for spring ball. I've had a couple guys that have impressed me. I mean, I haven't watched them closely, obviously, but they have stood out to me. I like both quarterbacks. I like Anthony and Jack Miller. I think they're doing some good things. But I said on my show Monday that a wide receiver, Dejon Reynolds, has opened my eyes. I think he's the best receiver on the team right now.
Well, again, we get to watch a little bit of practice. I've been hearing great things about Justin Shorter, what he's been doing, working hard. You can't really tell too much about the defense till you get a full contact. The DBs seem to be getting a lot of praise. We've had that Thursday night Gator Collective show with Ben Troop now for like 9 weeks in a row. The word is coming back from all the people, universally, every player is they really like what's happening with Gator football. And they like the way they're being treated. They like the amenities. They like the coaches, like the organization. They like the fact that they're getting a clear picture of what the plans are. That Billy Napier has a plan, and they feel comfortable that he has got them on the gut and going in the right direction. Now, a lot of holes to be filled, and we won't really know until probably the Orange and Blue game, and probably not even then on that Thursday night game. We'll see more and more. But it's all, like I said before, and it's become a cliche. If I'm buying stock, I'm starting to buy the Florida Gators. Even a guy like Paul Feinbaum is starting to believe in what Billy Napier is doing. And Feinbaum was reluctant when he first came on, and I asked him why on the show. He said, because I've seen him, I've talked to him, and I see what he's got going on, and I feel like he's really got a plan. And so I think it's been going well there. The quarterback situation, I think I'm a big AR-15 fan. I know there's some issues about injuries and about things not being consistent, throwing the ball more accurately. But according to what you told me yesterday, he got a chance to throw before the pros because he needed somebody to throw the football.
He wasn't like dropping back and throwing. He was just standing there and throwing because they just needed somebody to throw to the DBs in their drills. So.
Well, what do you think they said? They went back and told the scouts, the people, said, I saw this kid, Anthony Rich. What does he look good? Because he looks like the real deal is in the pocket. And you know that. And
so like I said on the show yesterday on SEC Network, and I've said on my show, I love Anthony. He has so many intangibles and blessed with so much talent that you can't teach. However, he will never be a high percentage completion guy. That's just not who he is. And I've seen it in the 2 practices. He makes great throws, and then he makes some horrible throws. All quarterbacks make some bad throws. But what I'm saying is from a consistency, point, accuracy, Jack Miller's the better passer, just in the few practices that I've seen. But that doesn't mean Anthony's going to be your quarterback. But I'm just saying from fundamentals, accuracy, anticipation, catchable ball, Jack Miller's the guy. From athleticism and wild plays and just raw ability, Anthony is unbelievable. So it'll be interesting to see how Coach Napier deals with that once we get to real games and see. So
you know what, Shane? You're coachable, Shane. I like that about you because you've gone from being a get off my lawn guy about all this NIL stuff, it'll never work, and you were negative about it, whatever, to realizing it's a big thing for these kids.
I still can't stand it. I think it's the stupidest thing ever.
I know. You are. Well, I'm sorry, because you have bullets in Russia claims to cut back military. That's good news, huh? But the point is that, let's be honest, you didn't want any part of this, and you thought it was terrible, and you thought it would fail, and you said several times, nobody's getting anything here. Well, they are getting something, Shane. And some places are getting a lot of money. And I don't know anything about it, but I know that it's something Billy Napier has big time embraced. You better embrace it. Now you haven't embraced it, you're tolerating it, Shane. But your coach,
I have, like I've said, I like what the Gator Collective does. I have zero problem with kids getting paid for autographs, for jerseys, memorabilia, going to different establishments and getting free meals. I have zero problem with that. I have a problem with school X. It's not even school. It's business X paying a kid $3 million when we have not seen him perform at all. It's just ridiculous, buddy. It makes absolutely no sense. I will never buy into that. I don't even care if it was my own kid. I don't buy into it one bit. Okay. And like I said, Andy Staples says it's not my money. Why do I care? Because I love college football. It's not college football anymore, folks.
I get it.
And here's what you're gonna see, buddy. If they don't get a control of it, you're gonna see the guys like Bryce Young, who win a Heisman Trophy at one school, and then another school comes and gives him $20 million to go play at their school.
Kind of like Tom Brady.
That is not college football. And it's not, can't even compare this to the National Football League because at least they have stuff in place.
I hear you, and I'm concerned too. I said to start. I'm sorry. I'm concerned about what the future of it is because of the imbalance, not a level playing field, and we're going to find out. And I made this prediction on the show last week called Sidelines, which I do with Rob Brown and his guys. And I said you're going to hear the next big challenge for college football is the governance, and there's going to be some major money scandals. It's going to happen. You know what's going to happen.
And here's what you're going to also have. If they don't get a hold of it, you're going to have issues in the locker room. I've talked to multiple former players. They agree with me because you think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Just think if Hendon Hooker, that kid that signed supposedly is getting $7 million or $8 million from Tennessee, the 2023 kid, let's say he was enrolling this summer on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Hendon Hooker, your starting quarterback, who's played in the SEC, who's actually produced in the SEC and won games for the Volunteers. Let's just say he's making $40,000. I don't know what he's making, okay? But here's a kid that's sitting on the bench, making more than every coach on the staff combined, and more than the starting quarterback. You don't think there's going to be some resentment in that locker room? Yes, there will be.
They'll get over it.
I don't know. I don't know. Because this is not the National Football League.
I get it.
When you're in a locker room in the National Football League, you know what you're going to make.
Yeah.
And you have no problem with that because there's only 53 dudes in that locker room.
Yeah.
So I just
Shane, wait now, you're not going to sell me a bill of goods here like every NFL locker room is so sunshine and roses, everything's fine, whatever. Listen, what do you think the Raiders have done over the years? They've had fist fights in their locker room. It happens, and they learn to deal with it. It's a body of people who try to control what goes on, and they do a pretty good job. And you do have to play. It is a body politic which runs the team more than the coach. But locker rooms can adjust. I've seen a team that
I'm going back to the NFL. When you got 53 dudes in that locker room, there's only about 6 to 7 making a ton of money because of what they've done. Okay, the rest of everybody is pretty much a minimum salary, which is a lot of money. But
$1 million is not bad.
It's a lot of minimum salary slotted for how many years you're in the league. You cannot negotiate that, and so you live with it. Yeah, do this wide receiver want to get paid more? Well, yeah. Well, you got to wait your turn, buddy, until you become a free agent and you've produced, and then you can get paid like Tyreek Hill because they couldn't fit him under the salary cap with the Chiefs. So that is not happening in college football. Everybody can be making $7 million on all 85 scholarship players. If you got idiot,
will it happen? No, you know why? There's the free market, and the free market decides. And Joe Blow Kokomo, if he's got a car dealership or whatever, and he thinks bringing out the low John Smith as the quarterback of the Hoosiers out will sell him a few cars, making money. He's going to do it because it's business. And by the way, Shane, that's not brand new. Ever since you were in school,
but having a car deal is
I get it.
They're that's a lease. That's basically a tax write-off for that car dealer. I've had car deals in every NFL team I play for. Mm-hmm. It doesn't cost them anything. Mm-hmm. And so I'm talking about when somebody gives somebody $7 million when they sign a contract to go play college football, they're morons. I will never change on that.
Okay, I'm not saying that that's right or that's good. I'm telling you the free market will resolve it because those $7 million deals are going to go away if they don't work out to be good investments. People don't know what to expect right now. They don't know what the rules are. I'm not sure what I love the collective, not just because it's getting collective, because it's smaller bites. It's the average fan can go ahead and make items $10 a month or whatever they want to do and help their program. I'm not really sure how it all works yet or how that money gets funneled into the right people, but they got a system.
Like I told you, I said earlier, I love that idea, but it's not what other schools are doing. They just basically get some boosters. We have businesses paying millions of dollars for kids.
All right. Well, let me ask you this question, Shane. What does that mean? Does that mean that Arkansas is going to win every national championship because they have all that?
No. You still like Andy Staples said. You still have to coach them. You still have to call plays. You still got to block and tackle. Yeah. But my point is that if anybody here's the one recruiting tool that a lot of Gator fans like to use that has zero bearing on our recruits. That we're a top 5 public institution.
Well, that won't
That
win
has
you.
no bearing.
That won't win you too many football games. It's a wonderful thing. I love it.
I think it's great. It is outstanding because if you get a degree from there, yes, it goes a long ways. But I can promise you, nobody that's coming in the 2022, 2023, 2024 cares about that sales pitch. Yeah. Unfortunately, all they're talking about is where can I get paid the most money? Of
course, it's called greed. That's what it is. Yeah. It's greed. And that's what we're got to deal with. It's that way, unfortunately, in our country, too. Everything is about the almighty dollar. And as I said, there are going to be a couple of major scandals because of the money. It's going to happen. Mark it down. Probably before the year's out, they were going to abuse the system. And by the way, the same teams are going to win. It's going to be the same team. Alabama's going to be up there every year. Now Georgia, etc. So, yeah, it's different. It's a different dynamic. Not one I thought I'd see in my lifetime, Shane.
No, it's awful in my opinion. Buddy, before we let you go, who you got on the program?
Got David Whitley from the Sun on tonight. Get his take on things, the temperature, and then we'll have our buddy Lauren Meadows on. Give us a report from practice and see what they have to say this afternoon at the ball yard. Doing our thing at 9:00 on Fox. Facebook.
You're on Fox now, buddy?
Yeah, right. Fox, ABC, NBC. I got Will Smith as my guest later tonight, by the way. Just
you have great ratings, my man. Good stuff, buddy. Sorry we woke you up today. Go back to sleep.
I got my computer to work finally. Sometimes Zoom doesn't want to do it. So anyway, thank you.
That's Buddy Martin. Join us on the Titan Number Hotline. We're going to take a timeout, come back. I got a ton of texts to get to and Facebook Live questions. You're watching and listening to Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Are you tired of being sidelined by nagging pain? Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and Dance with the Stars champion. Happy to tell you about QC Kinetics and their biologic therapies for treating pain without drugs or surgery.
Are you suffering from chronic pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, or lower back? Are you tired of living with arthritis pain? QC Kinetics offers natural pain treatment that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints.
Listen, I know pain, and I've seen firsthand how powerful biologic therapies can be. Patients at QC Kinetics rave about their result because they're getting their lives back. They're getting moving again.
These exciting regenerative treatments used to be available only to pro athletes like Emmitt. Now they're available to anyone thanks to QC Kinetics. Call today for your free consultation.
Get long-lasting results from my friends at QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. In North Central Florida, call 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate. Where premium brands like Mackey, Regal Cinemas, Le Macaron, Bass Pro Shops, International Diamond Center, Prime and Pearl, and the HBC's restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, now serving brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. We'll see you at Celebration Point, where the Gators go to celebrate. I want to thank Buddy Martin for joining us on the Titan MR Hotline. I got a bunch of texts here. I don't know why it seems like every time Buddy comes on, we get off on the tangent of the NIL. And I y'all know my opinion on it, and I'm getting some of y'all's opinions on it. And every buddy of mine that's a former player can't stand it. And we have people, I've had people say, well, y'all are upset because y'all didn't get paid. That has nothing to do. I want my school to win. I don't give a damn how we do it. It has nothing to do whether I got paid or these kids are getting paid. It's not college football. And I know things are changing. I get it. I'm old, but it just doesn't make sense to me. As John says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law, the big problem is the recruit getting $8 million and the current star just gets free hamburgers in Knoxville. That's my point. So you don't think Hendon Hooker, if he doesn't have some type of deal equivalent to that kid coming in, why would he go play somewhere else where he can get paid? I just think it's going to screw things up. Text on the Titan MR text line from an anonymous texter. He says, if AR ever gets to the point where he can read a defense, the sky's the limit. A bad locker room can happen before the free market catches up. Very true. Very true. We got another text here. Hang on, let me get a Facebook Live. Yeah, the FSU DB, he has entered the portal because of his NIL issues. I guess he's upset nobody wanted to give him free French fries or something. I don't really know. Peter says it needs to be capped, but good luck monitoring and regulating that. Not well thought out or planned. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Andy says, real quick, First John says, QB, do you see Saban picking his successor like Coach K has picked this guy to take over for him? It could possibly happen. Could. Andy says, Shane, any other SEC network opportunities that may come your way? You'd be a great guy, go-to guy for Gator-related football features. Not that I'm aware of. I think I was just cheap and available for the SEC network yesterday, but enjoyed doing it. It'd be hard to do a lot with me doing radio for the Gator Radio Network and stuff like that. So we'll see. Dorian does a tremendous job. A couple texts on the Titan MR text line. Betty asked, what Gators do you think will get drafted? What Gator do you think will get drafted the highest? That's easy. That's Kyer Elam. I think what he did yesterday and what he did at the Combine, he's going to be a first rounder. I think he's a guy that's going to play in that league a long time. He's long, athletic, can run, physical. I think he's a guy. I thought Marco Wilson would play in that league a long time. You saw he started last year for the Arizona Cardinals. I feel the same way with Kyer Elam. Bob asked on the Titan MR text line, he said, you did a great job yesterday. Who performed the best? I think Kyer Elam. I think Dameon Pierce did some good things. I think he's a sneaky guy who can get drafted maybe in the third, fourth, fifth round. I think he's a guy that's going to play a long time in the NFL. Great attitude, teammate, going to do what the coaches ask him to do. Doesn't have a whole lot of wear and tear on his body, but I think he can play special teams. And if you're not a starting running back in that league, you better be able to play special teams. And I just think that's something that Dameon Pierce can do. So I think he's a sleeper. I mean, not for the Gator Nation, but I think for people that don't follow the Gators, don't know much about him. Jackson says here on the Titan MR text line, enjoyed listening to y'all on the SEC network yesterday. Will you start working for the SEC network? No, I'm not working for them. I was just did a favor for them. And like I said, I enjoyed getting to do it with Dorian Cardozo, and we got Scott Strickland on. We had Coach Napier and Coach Golden, so it was good. All right, let's get to some Facebook Lives here, brought to you by Mellon Law. John says it's stupid paying high school athletes millions to come play. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. They may never play a damn down for your school. You don't even know that. I mean, think about just think about the kid that supposedly, there's still no documentation, or we haven't seen or heard exactly what the kid out of Texas that went to Ohio State and now is transferred back to the University of Texas. I mean, whatever company paid him that, he goes to Ohio State. Let's say he still stays on their roster. He's not playing in front of C.J. Stroud. But is he making more money than C.J. Stroud? I just don't get it. And he says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. If I can pull it back up. Did you happen to ask Coach Napier off camera yesterday about Dejon Reynolds? I forgot. He was in such a hurry, had so many deals he had to do there. I should have, though. I like Dejon Reynolds. Like I told you, I've seen 2 practices, and I felt like he's the best route runner. He caught everything thrown his way, and he's shifty. And we need some shifty dudes. John says, don't pay them millions because they may not have the grades. I don't know all the stipulations. If you must probably have to go to school. Dan says Cardozo is great to listen to calling Gator baseball. Yes, he's very good at that. John asks, QB, you would get canceled working for the SEC network. They would hate hearing the truth. I try to speak the truth. Doring speaks the truth as well. Doring kind of caught me off guard yesterday because we were talking about how, we were not surprised, but how not many Gators were working out, or not many of the Gators working out yesterday were going to be drafted. And I basically made a comment about, I'm not sure what kind of, and we were talking about Coach Spurrier coming in his first year, walking into a roster with a lot of talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And I made a comment, I'm not sure what Coach Napier is walking into. And Doring goes, yes, you do. It's not a very good roster. Just tell the truth. And he's true. It's not a great roster. I don't think he'll have a good SEC roster until year 3, quite honestly. John says, think about all the money that A&M spent on this recruiting class. No guarantee that they will see the field. You're right. I saw yesterday one of their top receivers, pretty good player, has gone into the transfer portal. Is he transferring because some receiver coming in is getting paid a lot of money and he's ticked off about that? Who knows? At Chris Doring Mortgage, speaking of Doring, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. Don't forget, if you have any questions for Evan McPherson of the Cincinnati Bengals, shoot them to us on the Titan MR text line. We'll get them to Trent Whittemore for his interview with Evan that will be on tomorrow. All right, we're going to take our final timeout, come back, get to This Day in Sports, and get a couple other texts and Facebook Lives. You're watching and listening to Pot Up with Matthews and more.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avera and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi, Steve Spurrier here. Making a reservation at my restaurant is easier than a Saturday afternoon homecoming game against Vandy. You don't have to call or email. Just go to spurriers.com, hit the reservation button, pick a date, a number of guests, and a time. It's so simple, I can do it. In fact, I just did. Maybe I'll see you tonight.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. At South State Bank, we understand that small businesses need a community business partner they can rely on. South State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, banking forward, member FDIC. This Day in Sports brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. Great culture and benefits and opportunity for growth. $1,000 signing bonus for qualified positions. Give Comfort Temp a call, 352-376-2366. This Day in Sports, 1982, the 44th NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. The Tar Heels of North Carolina beat the Georgetown Hoyas 63-62. And James Worthy was most outstanding player. I want to say that's the game where Michael Jordan hit the big shot, if I remember correctly. That's brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Tim. If you want to watch college basketball, you got NIT Final Four tonight. You got St. Bonaventure playing Xavier. And then you got the Aggies of A&M playing Washington State in Madison Square Garden. So if you want to watch that. And then don't forget tomorrow, I just got a bunch of texts right here for Evan McPherson, believe it or not. You folks listen and shoot them to us on the Titan MR text line. John says he's still waiting on Todd Golden and Billy Napier. I guess you're talking about on my program. We'll get them on. I'm more concerned about them coaching football right now and finding coaches and players for our basketball team that come in on my silly show. Andy asks, Shane, now that college swimming season is over, is there opportunity to get Anthony Nesty on the show? Great coach and recruiter, has world-class athletes. Yes, we had Anthony on last year. I'll get him on. He's still, even though the swimming season is over, he does all those national teams, and swimming season really never, ever stops. But yes, we'll get him on. These coaches are hard to track down because they stay extremely busy even in their off season. But we will get Coach Napier. We will get Todd Golden on. But as a Gator fan, you don't want them on my show right now. You want them out recruiting and doing their job. That's a little more important right as we speak. Hope you enjoyed today's program. Please tell all your friends and family members to follow our programs on all the different platforms out there, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, you name it, we're on it. And give us a like, give us a follow more than a like. Today's program has wound down and it is over with. So I hope you have a great day out there. Make sure you send us some questions for Bengals kicker Evan McPherson. Have a great day, folks.